Welcome to Make Your Money Matter. I'm your host, Brad Barrett. I'm also managing director and partner here at One Capital Management, reminding you that your money matters. Stress. We experience it, all of us, in different ways. And the reality is that there are many things that cause stress. Money, jobs, family, life events. I mean, anything that adds pressure, I should say, to our lives can cause stress, and it affects us all differently. It can manifest in really a number of ways, mentally, physically, socially, and it can be very serious for some of us. And today I'm going to focus on the first one I mentioned, money. And I'm going to be sharing tips as it can relate to money, but it may not be the cure or the end all be all for you. So please seek support. And there are many resources out there. So with that, smash that subscribe button, hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single episode. All right, let's get into it. According to a 2021 Capital One CreditWise survey, 73% of Americans ranked their finances as the most significant source of stress in their life. I want to ask real quick and take a pause. Is that any of you right now? Now think about that for a second. 73% of our brethren and our sisters out there have that as the top stress in their lives. Now, I always heard someone say, breathe in today and breathe out yesterday. It sounds like I'm on some yoga retreat or something like that, but we've heard of these things. And look, the idea is to make sure that we start with the concept of understanding stress, but also look within to understand what it is that you're actually stressed about. Is it around money in particular? Is it not having enough? Is it having too many options, the whole paralysis by analysis? Is it not understanding what money is or the options around money and which one to choose? And I've said many of these things before, but sometimes the decisions in life, whether it's money related or anything else, quite frankly, it's easier when it's can we versus should we. Now, what I mean by that is when it's should we, it's usually choosing between two pretty good options, right? Should we do this or should we do that? It's interesting when you think about it because that comes from a society of abundance. It's something I think we all need to handle and understand, and how it relates to money is quite unique and quite important. I want to go back to that study I mentioned before. 73% of Americans rank their finances as the most significant source of stress. That is a high majority. You've heard me say this before. I'm a big believer in the behavioral financial traits of our clients or any investor. My job as a good advisor, and really any good advisor's job, is to understand where you are in your financial life. What is your financial picture? Yes, we need to put all the numbers together, but we also need to say, what is your relationship to money? But there's actually 7 scientifically proven ways to reduce stress. And I want to talk about a few of them. I'm going to blow through these real quickly, but I think they're actually important for you to kind of look through. Okay, number 1, exercise. I think we all know that it kind of, increases the heart rate and then lowers the resting rate, which is really good therapeutically for yourself. I know for me, my sport's kind of being in the water, I really like surfing, and that's just my jam, right? And every one of us has our own exercise technique. Number 2 is meditation. There's Eastern meditation. Obviously, that's the yoga world where they're kind of the inward look for yourself. For me, it's always been biblical, kind of that outward expression of meditating. 3 is music. Now, I love this one. Listening to music can actually trigger the release of stress-reducing chemicals in your body, which I think is pretty awesome. Now, my go-to playlist is Zeppelin. Zeppelin 1, 2, all the way up to House of the Holy. Coda was a little suspect, but you get my drift. Big rock and roll fan here. And you'll find your own music, but believe it or not, it can scientifically trigger the release of stress-reducing chemicals. Number 4 is sleep. This one is probably not a shock to anybody. A nap or a solid 8 or 9 hours of sleep can really help. But it is important to be able to take stock in your sleep and work through those days when you can and clear some schedule. Try not to overcommit to things because it does matter. The 5th thing that I loved was laughter. Everything is better, I think, in life when you can laugh, including your stress levels. You want to know why I do a financial show like this? I'm trying to make it a little bit lighter than just some stockbroker kind of guy saying, well, the index was this today and inflation is going to be that tomorrow. Like, no one wants to listen to that. So have some fun, laugh a little, and I think that's important. Number 6, stand up straight. I thought this one was kind of funny to me. Research from Harvard has actually revealed that your body language can impact the amount of testosterone and cortisol in your bloodstream. Pretty interesting, right? So stand up straight is a way to reduce stress. Now, the seventh and final thing that was scientifically proven to reduce stress is art. Now, don't confuse creating art with being artistic. What I think this is talking about, what we're talking about here, is creating something rather than sitting around and passively consuming. Something I tell my kids all the time: create, don't consume. I've actually said this a lot before when it doesn't matter what it is you're doing, but I would actually rather see someone create than consume. So instead of binging on something or do something, we've heard that expression before. We've heard the expression, it's more of an art than a science. I think it's important when you look at the seventh item here, reducing stress, and find something you want to do and enjoy it. These 7 things that I just mentioned: exercise, meditation, music, sleep, laughter, standing up straight, and art, which I think are all very interesting subject matters. These 7 items have scientifically been proven of ways to reduce stress. Now, they seem simple, but a lot of people focus on their stress instead of taking action, even if it's the simplest thing. For some, it might just be easier to dwell on those things. So if you're stressed about money, there's usually something else going on. We are either overspending in certain areas, or we have a spending problem maybe. We have a savings problem potentially, like we're hoarding money. So some of our own actions actually increase our stress. So taking a look inward, maybe using some of those 7 things to curtail some of those things. But one of the best ways to do it is also to actually seek that counselor, that advisor, specifically around money. If you haven't done so already, you can reach out to us. We're here to do that. We're here to help reduce the stress and the anxieties that money can bring. So reach out and find that person you can build trust in to make sure that the stress doesn't get too much. Because one of the things that I've seen happen is we get into a category where reaching out to an advisor, it's like almost like pulling teeth. It's uncomfortable. And I said this before, it's almost like a financial undressing, if you will. And it's almost weird, like going to the doctor's office. And I don't want it to be that way. That's why I wanted to communicate each week on some of these topics. It's all a part of making your money matter. Hey, I hope you enjoyed that show today. If you did, give us a like and subscribe to our channel so you don't miss a single episode. And always remember to make your money matter.